Yo, what's going on, people? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, Mr. Chris Dillard. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank y'all for tuning in to another week of the Chris Dillard Experience. Y'all know how it go down. Y'all know what we about. I think y'all come on in, tap in, tell your friends, hit your nieces and nephews up. Yeah, put some minutes on their phone because it's almost Christmas time. So I know a lot of y'all didn't let y'all bills pile up so far. Y'all ain't paid not near one bill. So y'all all should have some extra money. Let's just hop right into this entertainment news real quick so we can get into our special guest for the day. First, I want to talk to y'all about something that took place, and I don't know if y'all been watching the news lately on this COVID and vaccine and all of that good stuff, but yesterday, a young lady, she was a doctor. Her name was Dr. Cooper. She just died at Indiana University Health Hospital. Um, and Um, she passed away from COVID. And the COVID killed her while she was in the hospital. Now, here's the crazy thing about it. She was a black woman. And her being a doctor, she understood kind of what she needed and when she needed it. So she was talking to the doctors and letting them know, look, man, I'm sick. Like, y'all need to help me out. And she was saying that it was hard for her to get any response from the doctors, even when she was in the hospital. And she took to social media and she made a video saying that she believed that it was because she was black. She believed that it was because she was African American, and she made this video, and you could see she was in clear pain. She was having shortness of breath, and she made a comment, and she said she told the doctors, "Look, I need y'all to run these specific tests," because she said that they would not run the test that she was asking them to. Now, again, y'all got to know y'all stuff. Don't just get out there and start talking about stuff because we quick to say, "Oh, I know how to do this," and rah rah and yes, honey, and we don't know not nothing that what we talking about. So she knew her stuff, so she was talking to the doctors, and when they took the test, they seen that she had weak lungs. They seen that she had fluid buildup, and she said even then it was still hard for her to get what she needed, and she said she watched how um, other patients who weren't minorities were getting different treatment than her. And after she made this video, y'all, she ended up passing away from complications from the very thing that she was trying to get the doctors to give her 100% on. So I say that to say, y'all, it's real out here. Know y'all stuff. And I see my boy back in the news again. What? I know who I'm talking about. Pastor Jamal Bryant. What's going on, brother? Um, so what happened was on the Real Housewives of Potomac, they just had their special reunion, and Monique Samuels said she was sick and tired of the fronting going on right now, so she was just gonna put him on blast. And so what she did was, she said, "You know what? You're not gonna keep on finna act, like you just throwing it 100% because this is what I got. I got emails, text messages, and receipts dated to specific times you were married to your wife, um, while you were with your wife when you cheated on her." So she didn't put the man phone number out on social media for people to call. Now I wanted to borrow some money, so I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I called him, but um, yeah, he didn't answer. But Jamal Bryant, I don't know what's going on because it's not for me to say whether or not you whatever. But um, I'm gonna need for you to yeah, I'm gonna need for you to just make sure that you cover, brother, because people out here they're gonna talk. People out here gonna do things. Just make sure you covered. And most of all, y'all, if y'all out here making these tapes, make sure they is not on your phone where people can find them. If you out here, like y'all out here doing crazy stuff, and y'all just the whole world just like we are at home. Nobody has nowhere to go. All we have to do is go find what we need. So if you're out here doing dirty and you cheat, first of all, you shouldn't even be doing it because if you're not um ready or in position to be with the person that you with, that why cheat? Why do all of these different things? Get yourself out the situation. So Pete Brown, we're gonna be praying for you. Jamal, his lawyer came out and said, hey, we sent her a cease and desist letter. So if she don't follow this, then we're gonna have a problem. So Houston, We're gonna find out what that problem is if they don't get that together. Oh yeah, shout out to the Lakers because they're honoring Kobe Bryant by putting um, Kobe Bryant's honor number and things on their championship ring. Now, if you tell me if that ain't character right there, I don't know what is. So shout out to the Lakers for that one. I definitely appreciate that one. You can't beat that because Kobe Bryant, you definitely left a legacy on the court, off the court, everything that you did. It trickled down to your daughter, to her resilience and her brilliance on the court and what she did off the court. So RIP Kobe. And again, shout out to the Lakers. What else is going on? Oh, George Floyd. So they are right now, they're in the process of selecting a juror. Y'all don't act like y'all don't know what a juror is because some of y'all done had DUIs 2 times this month already. So y'all know. So they are in the middle of selecting the jurors for George Floyd's murder. Now, here's the thing that they've been talking about. They put this big, extensive, like letter questionnaire out to the jurors while they're trying to figure out who they're going to pick. And the questionnaire has some really interesting questions on it. So if you get a chance, go and look up Minnesota Judicial Branch questionnaire for the whole George Floyd murder trial. Prosecutors and the defense attorneys, they are trying to take very, very hard precaution on who they choose. Because again, y'all, this is a highly publicized court date and court hearing. So we're going to see how that plays out. And last but not least, Katie Hill, former U.S. Congressman, is she's taking her ex-husband to court, claiming that he is behind the leak of private photos and messages, which she says sunk her political career. Revenge. Y'all, listen. Know who you in a relationship with, because revenge is real. And outside of that, like when you break up with somebody, listen, all that leaking photos and leaking videos, it's not hurt. Is listen, you are hurting not only them, but you hurting yourself, your pride, your character, who you are. You can't be so bitter that you plan on hurting or causing somebody else's demise because you are bitter. Stop that. Get it together. And then on the other hand, they just need to give Katie Hill, Donald Trump, Jamal Bryant, and Bill Clinton, just give them a reality TV show, the real entertainers of Atlanta, and just throw them all in one house for 24 hours and we'll have the best show in the world. So that's our entertainment news for today. So what's going on, people? I hope everybody had a good week. Y'all know Christmas is coming up. I hope everybody was able to go out there and do everything that you needed to do to have yourself prepared for Christmas. We about to get into our guests, y'all. In my field of comedy and just acting and all of that good stuff, it's very rare that you come across people whose art and talent and gift truly is a blessing. And when that word say that your gift will make room for you, that's real. That's real as it gets. So I want to play a quick clip real quick. And then after that, we're going to get into tapping in with Mr. Comedian Ronnie G.
That's funny. Dating is tough too, man. It's so funny too. Like, you ever meet somebody while they're still healing? That is the worst time to meet somebody. For real, because everybody don't know how. Like, first of all, everybody don't know how to argue. Like, some people argue because they want to get it out and be heard and share, and some people go for blood. Anybody ever date that person? They go for the kill on the first strike. Anybody know what I'm talking about? That's how my ex was. One time I was playing around. I was like, hey, babe, your oatmeal crunchy. She was like, first of all, you need to kill yourself, all right? You all wasted skin. Your mama should have swallowed you. I'm like, whoa, oh God, oh, oatmeal, really? Over oatmeal, really? How do we get here? Oh, my heart. Oh. But fellas, let me tell you this: if you don't know how to argue, don't get in a relationship because you will lose. Women are great at arguing. Fellas, you ever wind up in an argument you didn't ask to be in? I asked my girl, I was like, hey babe, you want to come to the comedy club? She was like, I do if you want me to come. I was like, that's why I asked you. I know, but you only asked me because you felt obligated. No, I asked you because I want you to come. No, you only asked me because you knew if you didn't ask me, I would have a problem, which is the only reason why you asked me. I want you to want me to come. Fellas, when she divided her chest, I want you to want me to come. I was like, you know what? I don't want you to go. See, I knew it. You changed your mind. I knew it. What the heck? And scene. How do we get here? But LA is a tough place to date too. Like, this is where I learned. Like, especially in LA, because you never know what you're getting. Like, you ever meet somebody so phony, they got to explain to you who they are. Like, first of all, if you're a thug, you don't have to say you're a thug. Or if you're a nice girl, you don't have to explain it. Guys already know. We talked about you as soon as you walked into the room. I met this young lady. I was like, you are absolutely gorgeous. Why are you looking so mean? I'm not mean, okay? I'm a nice person. I am sweet as pie. All my friends know that I am so sweet. Oh my God, April, will you tell him that I'm sweet? I was like, why are you so loud? I'm not loud. I'm a passionate person. All my friends know that I am so passionate. April, will you tell him that I'm passionate? I'm like, have you been drinking? Well, I've been a little tipsy, okay? I've been drinking, but I am not drunk, okay? That is not what I do. It was my girl's birthday party, and I did not want to ruin her moment, okay? April, pour me another shot of Patron and tell him we don't normally do this. I'm like, this girl is crazy. But she was fine, and I gave her my number anyway. Bad mistake, fellas. I woke up in the middle of the night. I saw a flashlight going through the window. Yes, that's what I said, too. I opened the window up. I'm like, are you stalking me? She was like, no, I'm not stalking you. I was worried about you. And I thought I'd come check on you, and I did not want to wake you up, stupid. April, get out the bushes and tell him we don't normally do this. I called the police on her butt, too. The next night, I got a call from the LA County Detention Center. Guess who it was? It was her. She was like, hey, Ronnie. No, me, the girl from the bushes, stupid. Hey, I was wondering, can you come down here and bail me out? No, come back. Well, first of all, I don't need your money, okay? I don't need your money. Can you call April on three-way and tell April to tell you I don't need your money? I was like, April, sleep. You want me to wake her up? Hello? You trying to play me? You gonna mess with my girl April too? I was like, hold on. First of all, I would never do that. April, wake up and tell her we don't normally do this. What up, bro?
What's up with you, Ronnie G?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good. Can you hear me?
Man, good to see you, bro. Yeah, I can hear you. I hear you well.
Sir, good to see you, man. Welcome, man. First of all, man, is it that hard dating in LA, man?
Oh, absolutely. I'm pretty lucky. I got married a year ago, so we celebrated our anniversary during quarantine. But yeah, bro, it's weird. Like back home, I'm from the South. I'm from South Carolina, but where I'm from, you meet a girl with hazel eyes, that's your wife. It's done. It's a fajita. That's a wrap. So as you see a girl with some hazel eyes and you find out she go to church, you're like, let's wrap this up. Hey,
let's wrap this up.
Yeah, we about to share the same address. Come on.
That's what it is. You want my last name? Yup, there ain't no waiting. Ain't none of that.
You want my last name. You about to get this last name. Don't play with me. Don't block your blessing.
How about that, boy? Dating is just hard in itself sometimes, boy, girl. Because women, they do stuff a lot better than us. Like, we ain't good at everything that women at. Like, they good at breaking up. They good at they good at so much different things. And we just kind of just trying to catch up to society with them, man. So it's a different ball game.
I feel like as a man, you don't realize how broke you are, how much you don't clean, and how terrible you are at decision making until you get a woman in your life. Because on your own, you think you're a great decision maker. You think you can clean pretty well, and you feel like you got it together. But nah, bro.
It's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game when you meet that one that make you realize like you gotta step that level up. You gotta step that game up.
Like I need to get it together.
It hit a lot different, don't it?
Right. Hey, so what city you in?
Man, I'm in Maryland. I'm in Baltimore.
I thought I heard that in your accent. I couldn't figure it out, but yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah, mostly you just heard sleep apnea because I'm fat, so it kind of just I don't know if you heard Baltimore or just sickness, diabetes.
Yeah,
So
some
either
snacks in
way,
your throat.
I got that
Gazi.
baby D.
And then
Yep,
KD. So funny.
that baby D syndrome. So
Ah, that's so funny.
how does quarantine life been treating you, man?
I think in the beginning of it, I was probably on suicide watch because I didn't know what was gonna happen with my life because my whole life is hitting the stage and part of the things that bring me joy I can't do. So I was getting sad. I feel like I was going through depression for a while, which really sucked. But then it was kind of like a wake up call too, because I feel like this whole quarantine is like a reminder for everybody who said they didn't have enough time to do what they needed to do. Like everything you said you didn't have time for, like now is the time to do it. And so for me, I got it on with social media, man. I was trying to hit it real hard with social media, and I went from posting once a day to like 3 times a day. Start writing, start studying screenplays and stuff like that. All the things I said I didn't have time to do. And bro, like the last 3 months been crazy. Booked a movie, TV show, shot a national commercial. I hosted Afrotech. I shot 2 pilots. All within the last 4 months, bro. So it's been dope, man. And I got an offer to direct my first short film too, so I'm excited about that as well.
Oh, that's what's up. So the directorship is that's a one thing about you, man, and what I see in all of your works, man, is that you don't limit yourself to just stand-up comedy. Like you're an entrepreneur, so you use your gifts to work for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the blessing. That's the blessing. That's the best thing you can do. Because some of us get stagnant and we like, well, I only tell jokes. That's why you only making that tell joke money. So don't be mad at me when I'm directing, when I'm writing, when I'm producing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna use my gifts to make that to make that work, to make that happen. So
I had to learn that, man. It took a while to figure that thing out because when I lived in Atlanta and did comedy was like a hustle. You know what I'm saying? I was getting by. I was paying bills. You can do a little tour around the South or the East Coast and make some money. But when I moved out to LA, like LA, I really have a career and I get a check every day from something. That's not even a flex. That's like I do voiceovers, commercials. I do warm up for TV shows. I won an Emmy for being a consulting producer, which is basically punch ups for the show. I get a check every day from something, man. So moving to LA literally took the top off my dreams and was like, yo, like it's so much more to it. Because a long time ago, there was a time in stand-up where when you do a late night performance or do like a last comic standing, your life would change. But now it's different. Like you got to know how to write, direct, produce. You got to know how to do social media. You got to manage, be your brand ambassador. Like you got to do all this stuff just to do stand-up, man. Stand-up is different. So if you just waiting to get on stage, you're going to leave a lot of money on the table.
Absolutely. So for those that's tuned in right now, who is Ron G?
Oh, you okay? All right. I was laughing. So funny. I was laughing because I did a show. I did a podcast yesterday. This young guy from Africa hit me up. He's like, "Do my podcast." And if you're a comedian, I'm like, "Yo, I'll definitely do it." But he knew like all my credits. I'm like, "How do you know all that?" But then sometimes you do interviews and they be like, "Hey, tell me what your credits are. Tell me what you did in your life."
Right. I think it's important because and I could run down your accolades. I could run down from Bill Bellamy. I could run down all of that. But you know what I'm saying? I kind of want the world to just know who you are from your mouth, because I could say anything I want to, but see, you'll have a humbleness to it. So
Yeah. I don't like saying my own credits, but I'll give you the cliff notes. Finalist Last Comic Standing, finalist on Bill Bellamy's Who's Got Jokes. I was the dad from Nickelodeon's Cousins for Life, which is a really dope show I enjoyed doing. I was on HBO's Insecure, and I am a Emmy Award winner.
Absolutely. And I seen that when you was having your interview with Kevin Hart, and you had said, I'll let you borrow my Emmy. And I was cracking up. I was cracking up because the reality is, you know what I'm saying, when you're growing up and when you come from some of the places that we come from, something like an Emmy just seems so far-fetched. It don't even seem like something that would even be in your books. But when you serve a God of promises, when you serve a God of many blessings through obedience, like there is nothing that is not within room or reach of you. So how that experience with winning that, how did you feel? How did that make you feel after that took place?
Sometimes it's still a little hard to believe, man, because again, I grew up in a town where people don't dream, man. Like I didn't come from dreamers. And then even doing stand-up on the level that I'm doing it now, I saw it in my head once I moved out here. But before that, you know, people like, man, you should be on Comedy View, you should be on Def Jam. And I'm like, it sounds cool, but you don't know where to get started. But when I moved to LA, and I remember when I landed in LA and flying over LA, landing into LAX, you can see how big the city was. And I'm like, how can I leave my thumbprint on the city when there's so many people here? And I'm like, this is crazy. But when you just grind and do what you do, eventually you evolve and you graduate. But, you know, a lot of times you don't see the growth, but people that, you know, be in the bleachers and the sidelines watching you like, yo, I you know, great job of what you did. And I'm like, I didn't even know. I'm just here. You know, to me, I'm still the same comic, but I know I've evolved and grown a lot in this game. But again, sometimes you don't see it while you're running your own race.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And LA was one of them places. The first time I ever went there was the first time I realized that I was fat. Because things because things
so
in LA, if you don't know nothing else, when you get to LA, you're gonna know that you fat. And I walked the city and I'm walking around like, man, why is this? I feel so out of place. Kind of like you probably when like being light skinned, it kind of just made me just very upset. No, I'm joking. But when I got to LA, though, when I went into all the stores, I realized there is no big and tall sections in LA. So that right there made
you
me
get a 2X at best.
At best, and I
At
can't
best,
do nothing.
2X.
That'll look like a bra on me. I just got to be real. So LA is one of them places that I think the perception of LA for a lot of people is they hear, oh, well, you can't make it in LA. It's saturated with talent. There's too many people doing this and this. And I'm pretty sure people probably told you, I ain't room there. You don't need to go there. What motivated you to say, you know, I'm not listening to none of y'all. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make this mark. Like, what made you just finally say, you know what, enough's enough. It's time for me to make that move and step out on faith.
Well, the first point, LA will just remind you and always humble you. This is a very humbling city, man. So you got to be really clear about who you are as a person. Because when I first moved here, riding down Sunset, man, bro, like they was riding like Bentleys and Aston Martins and every exotic car you think. They was riding them like Hondas when I first got out here. And being from the South, I'm like, I wasn't used to that. I had my little Honda Accord, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to make it out here. But after a while, when you get comfortable with yourself, like it don't matter because it's all the front. Half of the people, they be having 100,000 followers and 6 roommates, or they live with their mama with paper tags. But that's how it is. But as far as me moving out here and sustaining out here, honestly, man, I felt like God told me I was supposed to be out here. I hate sounding super spiritual, but I know I have purpose being out here. And when I had somebody prophesy to me before I left Atlanta that, you know, as soon as I get here, God's gonna like make it be known. And so like within the first week here, I wound up doing a show on MTV, and within the first 6 months, I wound up booking a gig as a spokesperson for a commercial, like a national restaurant chain. And I have not worked a 9 to 5 since May of 2006. So I just feel like that wasn't nothing but God, bro. Because on my own, I'd be scared if he told me everything I had to go through to be who I am.
Oh my goodness. And that's a important statement just in life, period. Like if he showed us everything, and somebody just told me that the other day, they was like, if God showed us everything that had to take place for us to get somewhere, like we would either try to go around the hard stuff to get there, or we would be scared out of our mind and not want to pursue it because we by natural existence, we fear the unknown. So we want to know, like, all right, Lord, you told me this is going to happen, but how are we going to get there? And that happens in so many different situations, not even just entertainment, but in life, period. One of my good friends, AJ, who is my accountability partner, and he told me just today, I told him some things I shared with him, and he was like, listen, man, if you get weary in the wait, you're gonna miss out on what God is trying to do in the end. And I was like, good God almighty, dang, I was too big to praise dance because I got neighbors underneath me, but I just shook my hand.
Right.
I just shook my hand and I was like, yo, that's real.
Most of that be a setup too, man. When God put you in situations, you like, God, why me? Sometimes like he be setting you up for greatness, man. I done warm up for TV shows, and you know, they be like, all right, just do 2 minutes and tell them to turn their phones off, whatever, and come back out. And then I'm out there and they be like, well, we need some more time. We need some more time. We need some more time. We having a technical issue. I'm out there 15 minutes, like, wait. And everybody looking at me like it's my fault. And this is back when, you know, I probably had only 30 minutes and I done did my best 7 up top. And I was like, ooh, I'm running out of material. You know what I'm saying? So, but
right.
From that to now, like knowing I'm like one of the dopest hosts to ever do comedy, because he set me up, be prepared for anything. You know, like just sometimes when you're in those moments, you're like, man, God, this is scary. Or, you know, my last big breakup, man, like when I went through my breakup, bro, I feel like I was on suicide watch, but I feel like that was also my boarding pass for my platform, which I do a lot of personal growth for men stuff. I got a podcast called the 2 Piece Podcast, the number 2 PIECE podcast.
Yep.
Two Piece Podcast, and that's a part of my platform. And then it gave me the tools in my tool belt to be a good husband to my wife too, man. But before that, I wasn't built for this. Like I didn't know, but when you go through enough, when you find something dope, you like, yo, I appreciate this. Like I never want to go through that again. But I committed to that, and I blamed her, but it was my fault because, you know, my pastor hit me one time after my breakup, and I was like, you know, trying to find myself, and I was grieving, and he was like, what's broken in you that make you commit to somebody that remind you that you're not lovable?
Bro.
Wow. Bro, and my face and my heart dropped, and I was like, you know what? I got you, God. Touche.
See, and God worked. So it's funny that you shared this. The conversation that me and my accountability partner have been having the last 2 weeks, because I just went through a breakup. A breakup, and a
COVID breakup.
And it's great. I don't know if it was COVID or it's just because I don't know what it was, because she broke up with me so fast that I didn't even know we was broke up. She called me and I was like, hey baby, how you doing? I love you. I'm coming to see you later. And she slid it in there and was like, I don't want you no more. And I was like, but you know, and then and I looked at the phone and was like, Lord Jesus, really? What did happen? No, it didn't happen like that, but we definitely.
I was like, what? I was like, we was about to turn into a therapy session. Like, are you healing? Are you okay?
I'm not okay because, I'm okay because, like you said, in situations like that, God will reveal things to you. And for me, God had to get me to the place where you have to realize that it's not always the other person. Like everything that happens, God is given an opportunity for growth. So in the time of us separating, like I've been able to just find myself. You know what I'm saying? And I know that
so the breakup did happen.
The breakup definitely happened.
But it didn't happen like that.
Not like that, but it's just me and my Yorkie now. And
was it egregious?
Was
the breakup egregious? Like, did she break up through text or something, or you saw her on a snap with holding hands with somebody with sharing a COVID mask or something? Like, what was the? How did you find out?
I was sitting in here watching TV, and I got a phone call, and that was that. So
no, we talking about it. You got to talk about it, bro. You can't move on. And keep it moving.
Yeah. But so
if you start crying, I'm gonna stop you.
Yeah, no, I did enough crying last week, and I realized that a fat man over 300 pounds looks stupid crying. So I had to get that out the way real quick. So the crying had to stop so that the healing and God's will could be done, because every setback is just a setup, and we don't know what's at the end of the setup. We just got to be okay with the setback. See, don't nobody want to be okay with the setback. They just want to get to the setup. But once you can understand your setback is for a reason, then we know that the setback is the springboard for the comeback. And your comeback is what's going to separate you from the man that you was or the woman that you was, so that you can get to where God needs you, so that he can give you what he's trying to give you. Eric?
Now, that was beautiful, but I still need to know, how did you find out that it was over? I see you try to get through it. I appreciate the colorful words. That was a beautiful picture, because the setback and the setup. I appreciate it. I just want to know, how did you find out?
It happened. So it was. Here's the thing about breakups, man. Breakups, they take place so differently, and I think that I found out because there was a conversation we had, and it just was.
Do you not want to say it? Just say I don't want to say it. It's all good. I want to hear it. This is my jam. This is my wheelhouse. Like this is what I have a passion for. Because for you, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you about my breakup.
Go ahead, talk to me.
I'll tell you about my breakup. My breakup. So in the beginning of our relationship with my ex or whatever, I used to tell her everything. This is my first time giving a girl my complete heart. I give her my heart. I tell her everything. I told her all my junk and everything. And we had an argument one time, and she used what I said against me. And I was like, ooh. And it was really hard for me. Like, I felt betrayed when I couldn't get over that, to like really, like, I couldn't get over that. And it felt hard. And I was fighting. I'm like, I love this girl. I want to be transparent and tell everything, but she used it against me. And it just felt like betrayal. And that was the first tick. And then after that, man, like we was trying to wait till we got married, but I felt like she didn't desire me, and that was a whole other thing. And so as a man with a girl, you feel like she don't desire you, bro, and then she's accused me of cheating. Now you accuse me of cheating, and we're not doing it, and I'm celibate. Like we're not doing all that. And so what I did was I was trying to, instead of being in a relationship, I felt like I was managing her fears instead of being in a relationship. Meaning, when I used to travel, I'm telling you my story so you'll feel comfortable. So when I used to travel, I'd be like, hey babe, I'm on the plane. Hey babe, I just landed. Hey, I'm at the comedy club. Hey, I just got off stage. Hey, I'm at the after party. Hey, I'm at the hotel. Hey, I'm about to go to bed. I get home and she still accused me of cheating. I'm like, you know what? That ain't me. That ain't me. And we broke up like 4 times. And I knew it in my gut, but it was hard to reconcile because the hardest breakup is the one where there's no reference for a breach. Meaning like if it's cheating and you see it, your heart can be like, you know what? I have closure. But if there's no cheating involved, you don't have a reference point for when it went wrong. And you're still trying to reconcile it because your heart is, you want to romanticize the good things, but you don't think about the bad things until you're back in it. So you romanticize it. So when you're back with them, you like, it's almost like, you ever like stop going to the club because you like over it? And then when you go back to, you like, I ain't going to the club. I'm over that. And you go back to the club, you realize why you stopped going to the club. Relationships are the same way, where you get back and you like, oh, that's why I broke up with you. This thing didn't go nowhere. Like nothing happened. No tangible evidence of you changing. It's just your words because you were lonely and don't want to be alone and you don't want to start over. So this is where we at. So that was mine, man. And when I resolved that, like I said, made the statement about God was like, my pastor was like, what's broken in you make you commit to that person? Because a lot of times this is who they are. Their parents know who they are, but we come in hot, all in love, and we don't see the signs. And we try to run the red light because we think we got a special type of love and prayer life that can fix all that. And you can't. I'm a fixer by nature, and you can't fix anybody you're doing life with. In general, I want to make everybody's life better, but you can't fix nobody you trying to do life with. And if they're unhappy, they're unhappy. You can't make somebody happy that's not happy. My light got dim. It's almost like you got to learn how to throw a rope. The more mature you are, you got to learn how to throw a rope. Young me, if some vibes don't feel right with somebody, I'll be like, let me hang out with them and figure out why I don't like them. But as the older I got, I'm like, your vibe don't feel right. And I don't need to investigate. I'm cool with that. It's a reason why we keep bumping heads, and I'm cool with that. But I committed to that person, and that was my fault. I wanted to be mad at her and blame her. It was my fault. And the hardest part about the breakup wasn't forgiving her, it's forgiving myself. Because I really felt like a sucker MC, and I had to forgive myself. So for me, until I had my funeral, that's why I was asking you about your process. Until I had my funeral and said, this will never happen again, I couldn't grieve. Because in my head, there was a little bit of hope. And we tried to do the whole friendship. Let's be friends. And I'm like, I can't do friendship. When I gave you my friendship in a relationship, it wasn't good enough. And now that you don't have a title and you want friendship, it feels wrong. This don't feel authentic. I feel like you're doing this because you're still trying to keep a tab on where my heart is at. So when I checked out and I had my funeral and I made peace with myself and I had my little, I call it neck tears. When you slide down the wall and have your little, I had my neck tears. That was the beginning of me having my funeral. I had to see that body go down in the ground and realize this will never happen again.
And see,
that's my 2 cents.
And I'm gonna be honest. For me, I'm a natural giver. I'm a natural lover. When I love you, I'm gonna love you all the way to the core of your soul. I'm gonna give you all of me. I'm going to try to usher in the atmosphere of respect. I'm trying to usher in the atmosphere of love. And for me, I'm just a natural. My love language is, and what I give naturally is I want to make everything okay. I want everybody to be okay with being their self. So for me, I've always been the one who Pastor.
A question. Is that because a lot of times that type of personality, even mine, came from my childhood. Because my dad used to sip a little bit. You know what I'm saying? My older sister, she was handicapped. So I was like little brother, but I was also big brother. So I wanted to make sure everybody was happy. I want to make sure everybody's happy. So when I got older, my disposition was always to make sure everybody's good. And I would compromise my own happiness to make sure people I care about was happy. Did that come from your childhood?
And that came from my childhood. That came from me growing up and always being the one who always tried to be the rational thinker. So I'm always the one who, okay, they going through, how can I make them laugh? How can I take them out of their pain? And the whole process of me wanting to give, I lost a part of myself. And so I can't say that I I can't say that it was a time in my relationship where I didn't give everything. I think the problem came was now that I'm fully growing into the kingdom man God has called me to be, I understand that a woman needs to be covered a certain way. And covering a woman doesn't mean that you have to cover her 100% financially and 100% in this area and that area, but covering her and who she are as a Christian woman. See, one thing I can say is that the woman I was dating is a strong, amazing, beautiful Christian woman who deserves to be covered in every way. And see, and I had to understand and realize that when you're dealing with a certain type of woman, you know what I'm saying, there's certain ways that you have to cover them, but at the same time, you
What does that
can't
mean?
give so much. It means that
She wanted your money too. She wanted your prayer and she wanted your check.
yeah, but when she see me with my shirt off, she just broke up with me. So it was kind of like, you know,
You be throwing in them jokes, man. She didn't break up you. Get out of here. Okay, all good. We'll move on.
Yeah. No, but yeah.
Whenever
but,
you're preaching, that means you trying to sidestep. You like L1,
you see
L1,
L1,
okay.
hit stick. But no, you know, just the whole thing. God has me at a place right now where I'm being pushed to find myself, and I'm being pushed to be accountable to myself, and I'm being pushed to love myself like the love that I've gave. And God is like, well, until you love yourself, until you push yourself to be the best you can be individually, then you can't connect with somebody and bring what I fully gave you until you understand what I've gave you. So right now I'm in the process of receiving what he is and knowing my kingdom manship so that I can fully release that to the person that my forever is going to be with.
All right. Well, I'll say this too, and I don't know your whole situation because you kind of danced around it, but I will say this too. What if you are enough? What if the person you was with just couldn't handle your enough? Because I know you and I, like we mentioned, we kind of got this fixer complex. We want to fix and make everybody good, but at the same time, like I said, you can't fix everybody you're doing life with. And sometimes God get jealous. Because like what happens if it falls apart? Like it's okay for it to fall apart. Because that means almost like whatever you create, you got to sustain. Whatever, if it's a woman dating a guy and you like, I need him to go to church. I need him to go to church and then we can make this right. If you make him go to church and he only going because of you, you got to sustain that in order for that to really be there. But if God make him go to church, then he can lead you. So I'm saying for you and myself, whatever you create, you got to sustain. So sometimes you got to take your hands off the wheel and let God do his thing. You got to let it fall apart. If they're unhappy, let them be unhappy and let God be, because God is jealous, bro. When he see you doing too much, because we always ask to bless our relationship, bless our life, bless our career, bless my business, but you only want him to bless the parts you feel like you can't control. You know what I'm saying? So what if you take your hands off of it completely, do what you can, and let it all fall apart and see what happens out of it? So for me, with my last relationship, in my breakup, I was like, God, I need you to just touch her heart so she can see me clearly, because I had an issue because I was a savage as a young adult. I was a savage, bro. Like my dad gave me some really bad advice. He was like, don't ever let a woman talk down to you. You know what I'm saying? Always have your own, blah, blah, blah. And when girls used to talk to me reckless, I used to curse them out. But then God was like, you ain't gonna never get married with that attitude. So I changed that, and then I became a nice guy. I became a very sensitive guy. And I'm like, okay, this is who God made me to be. Let me be sensitive. And I had girls be like, why are you so sensitive? I'm like, I'm giving you the cheat sheet to my heart so you don't have to guess. And the most dangerous thing on the planet is a silent man. I'm telling you how I feel and what I need. You don't have to guess. And you shut me down calling me sensitive.
And you shut me down calling me sensitive or
because the problem is,
oh my God.
The problem is hoes like to listen. Hoes are great listeners. But I'm telling my girl, this is what I need. And you shut me down and call me sensitive. When you get a silent man, this man can have a whole nother family. And then the same girl, I saw her out at a party one time and I had my wedding ring on. She was like, I said, what's up, lady? How you doing? She was like, I messed up. I'm like, you want a man who's in tune with his feelings, because our entire life as a black man, we taught to be strong, independent. Women want us to have all the answers. We got to have all the money when we meet them. We like, no, I'm still trying to figure my life out like you are. This is who I am. I'm at least bringing my heart. Some women will settle for a bag. I'm giving you my heart. That's more important than the bag. Because a dude that got bag money, he got more of it. But if he don't show up for you, it don't matter what he give you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm giving you my heart. And she was like, I feel bad. And I was like, don't feel bad. It was a lesson. Like, you was used to that kind of man. You want a man who to be emotionally illiterate. I'm not emotionally illiterate. My sensitivity make me a lot of money. And my pastor told me, he was like, look, man, I said, why girls don't like sensitive guys? He was like, it don't matter what girls think. He said, you just need one woman to get it. You just need one. And I was like, you know what? Touche. He said, take the pressure off yourself. You just need one woman to get it. And my wife, man, she's dope, bro. I met a really dope woman who appreciated every part of me, to the point where when we first got together, we had an argument. She raised her voice at me, and I was like, yo, you can't raise your voice at me. It reminded me of my childhood. We can't do that, because I can't protect you and protect myself at the same time. And I want my house to be the safest place on the planet. So I'm responsible for that. And this is feel uncomfortable even telling you that, because as a man, you feel kind of stupid, like just sharing on that level. I said, I can't protect you with that energy in my house. And she was like, you know what? I got you. And she changed. Wow. Literally the same day. But I had to be vulnerable enough to tell her this is what I need, because that's a trigger for me. You know what I'm saying?
And you had to trust the process, that what you was going through wasn't meant to hurt you, but to prepare you for that. So that's where I am in this process, understanding that what we think is meant to hurt us, when we think that God is being silent, it don't mean that. I had to look at it like this: in a library, you don't hear a whole bunch of people talking. You don't hear a whole bunch of people screaming, because a library is a place of quiet, but a library is one of the most powerful places, because you can go to the library and pull resources even in a quiet atmosphere. So what I had to understand was that even when you don't hear God, he's created a quiet atmosphere of resources for you to grow. So when you're going through a place, it's not to say that, oh, God is not listening or God is not speaking, but to understand that you are in a quiet place of resources and God is still working, period. So right now, I'm in my season of pulling from the silent resources that God is using to prepare me. So it's one of the best feelings in the world is when you realize that to stop looking at everybody else's fault or what everybody else doing, you start looking at yourself, is one of the best feelings. And we use that as comedians because our source is talking to people, being funny. Most of our stories is not us trying to change the subject. It's us talking about things that everybody go through. We just talk about it in a creative way, which brings me to my next question. How much of your routines, how do you feel creativity plays a part in from being in touch with the reality part, like pulling from real life situations? How does that help with your sets?
So the thing I learned about comedy is, I thought comedy is about being the funniest person in the room, but now it's evolved to me being discovery. The more clear I am about who I am as a person, the clearer my comedy is. And also, you got to be a student of life. To be a really great comic, you got to be a student of life. You got to actually live. Go and stand in the comedy club 24 hours a day, working on the set, that ain't living. You'll be funny, but will you connect with people? Because what I hate is, and what I fear of, becoming the comic who always talks about travel jokes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The comic, the road comic who like, man, you'll be at the airport and blah, blah, blah. You'll be at a hotel room, because they're not living. All you're doing is traveling and performing. For me, I made it a mission. Like, I remember I got College Comic of the Year one year. I did 100 colleges in 1 year. And I remember leaving a school, and I went to the parking lot, and I was just in a daze. I couldn't remember what color my rental car was. I finally found my car, and I went to the hotel, and I just stood outside. I'm like, I don't remember my hotel number. I didn't remember what day it was. And I went there by myself because I wasn't messing with no college girl. And I was just out. I was like, yo, this feels weird. And I remember getting in the shower, bro, and I had a full meltdown. And I was talking to God, and I was like, man, I'm a grown man. I have all the money I've ever wanted in my entire life, which allowed me to buy a house in LA. I made so much money, bro. But I was like, I'm a grown man. I ain't never been in love before. I ain't never been in love. I don't know what day it is. My friends stopped calling me because I was traveling so much. I was home literally 3 days a week. The first day home, you jet lag. Second day, you packing. Third day, you leaving out that morning, going to the East Coast, traveling, whatever. And I was doing that for a long time. And I feel like my life fell apart, but I was intentional. I said, God, I want to experience love. I want to enjoy what I'm doing, because I stopped enjoying comedy. All my jokes was like recycling stuff I was already saying and just adding stuff to it. But when I started living and I fell in love and I started traveling and working out and, just doing cool stuff, that's when I felt like my comedy really came to life. And I embraced who I was, which is the vulnerability thing. A lot of really dope comics, especially like Richard Pryor, like he was dope because he was vulnerable. He said the stuff that no normal human being would say. And I feel like when I became clear like that and started talking about the stuff that really bothered me and affected my heart, I started making the room smaller. And people like, yo, that's crazy. That's why I had a breakup joke. I was like, man, you ever cry so hard, you have tears under your neck? You ever cry so hard you got to find a wall to slide down? You do the wall slide, and you ever cry so hard you see yourself crying in the mirror, and you can't believe you crying like that, and you cry extra hard looking at you cry because you ain't never seen you cry like that, bro. I was depressed and doing that joke, and people was screaming, and I had tears in my eyes doing the joke, and nobody knew I was really going through it because I said how I felt. But a lot of times in comedy, you know, just kind of like how you sidestep, like the real comedy is the truth in what you're saying. The real comedy is I went through this and this sucks. That's the real comedy. That's real acting. Every bad guy in a movie that you love, once you find out they're human, you fall in love with them. Freaking the Joker movie, Heath Ledger. When you find out why he was the Joker, you like, I'm rooting for this nigga. When you find out why, for me, comedy is when you hear my set, you know what I'm going through in my personal life. You know that I'm going through it, and there's no shame in that. When you own that, bro, that's your money. The thing that you're not telling me right now, that's your HBO special.
Golly, good God Almighty!
But it's all good. You ain't got to tell me. It's all good. You work it out on stage, but that's your HBO special. But whenever you're ready to talk about that and really say it, that's when it is. I'm saying, bro, this is my gift. So So you can sit on it if you want to, because you know all the scriptures, and you talking about making room and burying your gifts. You're burying your gift inside your pride and ego. I don't care. I'm here to tell you that's your special. That's the set people need to hear, especially while you're still in it, because you can write from it from a real place. Because one of my biggest, I'll give you time to regroup. My dad drinks, and I remember when I first started talking about my dad, I would explain what he used to do. I had a little bite in it. When you hear it, you could tell like it was a thing. You know what I'm saying? When I used to talk with my dad, but I made peace with him, and I was like, especially as a black man, you don't always get a chance to make peace with your pops, even when he's alive. Because my dad, he'll invite you over, but he don't let you in. You know what I'm saying? And I had a conversation with a guy, and the guy was like, you might not get the answers you need, but you need to resolve this for you. You need to resolve this for you. And I did that, bro. And I started performing, and I became my dad on stage. People was like, I know that dude. That's my uncle. That's my dad. And they fell in love with the character because they knew who I was talking about. So I'm saying that thing that you don't want to talk about, that's where you pull up the handbrake. That's your set. That's where the money at.
I receive it. Good night.
No, man.
That just all righty. Well,
it's all good, bro. We here. Promise. No judgment. No judgment policy. This was intentional. Today was intentional. We supposed to do this a week ago. Today is the day. Like this is a divine moment, and I want you to embrace it. And there's no shame. There's no judgment. I want you to be like, yo, this is it. I was supposed to have this conversation to be who I am, because you gave yourself a ceiling. You boxed yourself in. Today is the day where you renew the thing. Like it ain't about the scriptures, because I don't even know scriptures. I know God's heart, and I know God made me sensitive, so I can always be in tune with. And I'm telling you right now, I'm downloading, telling you this is intentional, and I'm rooting for you. And how you handle this is a very divine moment. You can go into a dark place and hide and not deal with it, or you can like embrace it and lean into it, because it's gonna feel ugly. That's why you said at least you got good homies. Lean into that thing that don't feel good and embrace that thing, because you about to change some stuff, and you're gonna outgrow this whole platform. I love all this. This is the beginning of it. You about to outgrow everything, but you got to lean into it. I've been there, bro. It's all good, bro. I'm happy for you. Today is your birthday. You graduated, man. You graduated. Embrace that graduation. When you cross that stage, you be so happy, like, it don't feel good. I remember just being in that ugly space. When I met my wife, I was still broken, man. I was jacked up. And this is what I found out too, especially in relationships. All your current issues in your relationship come from staying too long in your previous. When me and my lady argued after being married, I was triggered by the stuff she did because I stayed too long with my previous. And she'd be like, yo, that ain't me. That's your old stuff. You need to handle that. And I'm like, I had to deal with it by myself. And to watch somebody you love look at you like a little kid, vulnerable because you like don't know where to start to fix yourself is a very ugly feeling. Somebody watching you heal, but I'm married now. And I'm like, God, man, it's ugly. My wife's sitting there like, but she's loving with it. She's like, nah, that's you. And I got to deal with myself like a little puppy. Like, man, that is me. That ain't you. That's me. That's the ugly part of marriage. That's why people don't want to get married. This is a mirror. It's holding a mirror up to your face. Like, nigga, this is who you really are. But today's a great day, Chris. I'm rooting for you, bro. Man, I'm sending you blessings, good energy. I'm sending you love. This is dope, bro.
You don't even know how God is like just spoke like speaking to me right now. You don't even know. You don't even know the half of what you just spoke. Like you do know the half because God told you to speak it, and man, I receive it because good night. Okay.
Record this. Make sure
All
you
right.
lock this in. Like this is your reminder. This is your reminder for this moment. Because I hope you don't forget about this moment. Because when things get better and your heart feels good again, like you're gonna forget about this and you're gonna act like you got it all together. This moment is a humble reminder of this is what God needed to happen to get you to go to the next level. I just had a moment recently with my acting coach. I was coaching with him, and he stopped coaching me. He was like, instead of telling, he's like, look, your problem is you learn for the audition. You don't learn so you can have it in your system. Like you only learn for this moment. It's like when we take tests, you learn for the test, but you ain't really learning this stuff. He said, you're gonna be stuck in this place for a while if you don't learn how to focus, if you don't learn how to get outside of yourself. He said, even when I'm talking to you, you be on your phone. He said, nah, you don't want to learn. He said, I'm wasting my time, but you're gonna pay me for it. He said, no, I need you to focus on what I'm saying. I need you to know why you're doing what you're doing. Because you're running the lines and you're saying them nice, you're a comedian, you're charming, but you don't know why you say what you do. Put yourself in this real situation and stop playing. And bro, he ate me up so bad, bro. And I started after I did a show. Usually when I have an audition before a show, I'm good. I had a show. I was on set all day, came home. I didn't start auditioning until like 10 o'clock. We didn't wrap till like 3. And I had to put 2 auditions on tape, bro. When I tell you, bro, I was like done. And it took me 2 days to recover. And how you feel right now? I just felt so beat up, but I knew I needed to hear that because I was too comfortable where I was. I almost didn't want to get out of bed the next day. I was like, yo, this don't feel good. But I knew I'd rather get beat up right now than be on top and be famous and be where I want to be in my head. And the world's watching me have this moment we having right now. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'd rather have this at this altitude because, you know, a crack in the plane window-wise on the ground is not a problem.
Good night.
A crack in the window on the plane while you're on the ground is not a problem. But when you're in the air and you feel that pressure, the cabin pressure, and your ears pop, that same crack will kill you. So I had to resolve that crack while I was on the ground, the level I am right now. It was right below the clouds. And so I'm grateful that even though it did not feel good and I had to pay him more than I usually pay him to get that audition done, and I wasn't even happy with my work, I was like, all right, I'm going to take it on the chin. It didn't feel good, but I know I need this. And now it's a thing. And I came home. My wife was like, we need to go pray. We need to pray and manifest everything we want. We got to see in our head. Like for you, you might need to do that. Like you have this unspoken weight. And I'm speaking prophetically to you. This is unspoken. That's probably why you talk about your weight all the time. This unspoken weight, this emotional weight that you've been carrying around with you from your childhood to the breakup that you need to purge and take it off. You need to take it off and ask God to show you the life that you say you want. Like literally, like you joke about the weight, but I feel like it's an emotional thing that you have to take that weight off because you carrying around a lot of weight that ain't your burden. Half the stuff that's been burdened from your relationship, it was her stuff, but she projected it on you and you owned it because you love her. I get it. That ain't yours. God will tell you what your stuff is. Your stuff is going to be your stuff. Take that all off, unpack it, see yourself. I saw myself, when me and my lady was praying, I saw myself on stage in like a huge theater, me and her talking to couples. Also, I saw myself performing. I saw my house. I saw twin babies. I saw me writing a book about the stuff we're talking about right now. I'm writing a book. I saw myself, it's not preaching because I don't want that burden. I don't want to be responsible for no church, but this is my gift where I get to talk to people and I see things in them. I see things and it shouldn't be scary. It should be confirmation. This guy stirring up. He's like, you too comfortable. It's not scary. It's just confirmation. And I know I have this gift, man. And I look forward to God giving this platform to do this, but I can't do this if my heart is not right and my head is not right and I'm carrying around baggage that's not mine because I'm empathetic and I feel your weight right now. I feel everything, you know what I'm saying? But this is a blessing. This is a great day. I know it's on camera right now, but today is a great day, bro. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for your soul. I'm happy for your future. You graduated and today is a new day.
I appreciate that, man. So, in closing and wrapping up, because man, I'll keep you on here all day, and I don't have the money to keep you, so we just gonna let this whole thing go. But I received everything you saying. It is just confirmation that God had me on my knees at 3 o'clock this past morning, 3 o'clock. I didn't even go to sleep since then, but God had me on my knees praying about some things that you just spoke. And I said, God, make it clear. And you just confirmed some things that God put in my spirit last night and had me up. So I receive it. And I thank you for being in position to not hold back and being where you are and being here today, because I needed to get that from you. So let the people
Amen.
know. Let the people know everywhere that they can follow you, everywhere that they can catch you, and how to book you. Because I believe and I know that even though you're doing on 100 with what you're doing, God is still creating, and He's going to keep blessing you more and more. So, how can the people get in touch with comedian Ron G?
First, yeah, I would say follow me on Instagram. Please follow me, comedian Ron G, comedian RONG. All my social medias and my link in my bio on my Instagram. Some of that might not be your generation. I don't know how old your fan base is, so you can just fax me. Have your grandbaby fax me a nice letter, and I'll try to figure out how I'm gonna get it back to you. Or if you want to hit my Cash App, you can do $ comedian Ron G. Venmo is just comedian Ron G. If that ain't your generation, you can have your grandbaby Western Union, me some money.
Yep.
Yeah, but just comedian Ron G on everything. Chris, thank you for the platform, man. Thank you for the platform. Every Sunday we do virtual Chocolate Sundays, which is the dopest, most diverse, longest running comedy show in the nation. We do an after party, like it's super dope. I can tell you how dope it is, but like it's the closest thing to going to the club and a live comedy show. It's super dope. It's virtual Chocolate Sundays. Go to chocolatesundays.com, or you can go to my Instagram. I post it every single Sunday, comedian RONG. But again, Chris, thank you so much, bro. Today is a blessing. I don't want you to feel any kind of way. I don't want you to take anything away and be like, just no. Again, you graduated. This is your boarding pass. This is your boarding pass to the next level. And I hope you receive this. And I hope if anybody watching this right now, this is the only thing I didn't get a chance to say. If you're single and you're trying to find a person, always look at, especially if you're a person of faith, look at their willingness to work on personal growth. Because most people, that's why women are light years ahead of us, because when you go to any church, it's mostly filled with women. If you find a church with a lot of men there, as a man, you want to pull up the handbrake and be like, this is my church. But women are working on personal growth. But the saddest thing is to find a partner who doesn't work on personal growth, because everything that allows you to become more emotionally mature and advanced will be prison, because you can't tell your person. And you want to find somebody who you can solve conflict with. If you say, hey, this is my issues, even women, when you meet a guy, tell him what you need. Sometimes y'all jump in and trying to be wife day one. Like, no, don't be his wife. Let him earn whatever. You never give more than what you can afford to lose. Let him earn that. You know what I'm saying? But also tell him what you need, because little boys give you questions, grown men give you answers. My wife answered all the issues of my heart from my previous, and I didn't even have to ask her. My ex didn't really compliment me like that. My wife would call me handsome. Like my nickname for my wife is handsome. Didn't even know. God knew what I needed. You know what I'm saying? So tell him what you need. How that man responds tells you everything you need to know. Because sometimes women will overrun that red light and be like, you know, I'm just trying to figure out why he's not committing. I'm just trying. That's his answer. His answer is, hey, if you like, hey, look, in order for me to give you this WAP like this, I'm gonna need a commitment. I'm gonna need to know that you're gonna be here, because I don't want you to share with everybody else. If you like, hey, look, I don't know how I feel about that, leave. Because at that point, you're not a victim, you're a volunteer. You told him what you needed. He responded, and you got an answer. You don't have to ride that thing out, especially when you got your answer. As a woman, you can just tilt your crown up. You know, you didn't lose nothing. You found out what he was. So don't give more than what you can afford to lose. So find somebody you can resolve issues with, because if you don't, you're going to subcontract. You're either going to cut a corner and subcontract, or find somebody who you can resolve with. And then you still got to go to God after that, if it don't go right, because you got to resolve it with your person in order to be whole again. So what I'm saying is find somebody you can resolve conflict with. Find somebody, if they say this is just who I am, run. Because most of the things that we picked up along the way came because of dysfunction in our household and because of trauma. Every Black person in the country, we have generational trauma. We were like, this is just who I am. No, I became this person. I used to be really sarcastic because I grew up in a sarcastic household. But when you get married and find somebody dope, sarcasm don't work no more. You got to unpack that stuff and be like, that's not who I am. That's who I become. But God has more for me. Because when you show up to that relationship, you need to be naked and not ashamed, like Adam and Eve. I'm naked and not ashamed. This is who I am. This is my issues. This is what I need to feel loved. And if you don't have room to do that, log off. That's it.
Log off. Good God Almighty, man. Listen, I appreciate you, Ron G. Y'all at Comedian RON the letter G for those that didn't make it past ninth grade. Comedian Ron the letter G. Please make sure y'all go and follow him tonight. Shoot him a message of encouragement. Follow him. Check his events out. Check out the Chocolate Sunday. I'm a fan. I want you to know that, and I'm looking forward to seeing the other things that God does in your life, man. So just know you got a fan in me, and I appreciate you and thank you, brother. And be blessed, man. Congratulations to you and your wife, man. And I speak that arena opening for y'all to share y'all story, and not only that, but to help others heal and grow through what they're going through. So the best is yet to come, man. Those arenas are coming.
Thank you, bro. Salute to you. See you soon, man.
Yes, sir. Be blessed.
All right, go.
Yes, sir.